Good morning and thank you for watching a day in off-grid living. First thing we do is check our water supply and our ice, clean up our space and our bedside area, sweep the floors to keep the bugs away, clean our meditation and lounge area, and then reuse our coffee. Coffee has many benefits to a garden. Some plants really love it. Here are some house plants for you to look through, and out to the garden we go. I'm going to focus in on this area where the tomatoes are and go ahead and take this leftover coffee, stir it with my stirrer, and I'm going to bring it over to my tomato plants that are pretty new because they like it the most. And I ended up getting about 3 rows in. All got a little hit of yesterday's coffee. This is a great thing to do if you are also trying to have a zero waste house because you like the earth. So you like to be aware of your carbon footprint like I do, and make sure that everything you use gets reused until there is zero waste. And I did get 9 rows plants in. So tomorrow I'll be sure to start off with the 10th plant after I'm done making coffee for the day. Woohoo! So fun. I love reusing my products. And now I'm going to move that piece of plastic at the end off in an L shape to something more mower friendly. Also, I'd like the crops to get more of the morning sun so that they get the maximum amount of sunlight during the day and afternoon hours. It's important to be mindful of where you place your garden because you could have plants that don't ever come to harvest because they didn't get enough light. So now I've noticed I'm getting a bucket because I've noticed a lot of extra rainwater on that tarp. So I want to be sure, and cute little cardinal comes in for a landing. I want to be sure not to waste any of that rainwater because, again, what the crops didn't absorb yesterday, they will be sure and want to absorb today after we get some sun. And there's Black Cat Magic Marley running through the screen. I'm gathering up all the edges so the water doesn't escape, and I can pour it into this bucket. It's much more water than I thought. Looked like a little bit, but it ended up being, that's a 2-gallon bucket, I believe, there. So I have that extra water. I'm going to just go ahead and water all of the seedlings that I can, as to not waste not even a drop. Of course, I'm trying to get all of the outside work chores done for the day before the heat of the day comes, usually here around 2 to 6 p.m. It's awfully hot. No one does anything but drink tea and relax on their porches. So I'm going to get my work done now. I'm going to secure this extra piece of plastic so it's more mower friendly. As well as the walking path from the trash to the house needs to be clear and easier to access. So I'm stretching that out now. Trying to even it out with the piece of plastic that's there. I'm going to secure it with one of my Rogue pots full of, I believe that's oregano in that pot. So I'm going to move the squash away from the oregano because squash takes over your garden. So I'm going to make sure that that's at an edge where there's extra space for it to sprawl out on, as well as watermelon. Now, putting that plastic over the grass is going to kill the grass underneath because the heat of that plastic suffocates whatever's under it. So my garden won't have to be weeded. And that plastic was donated from a friend local here in Eden. He's been listening to how excited I am to start living off my land with my own food and medicine, as that's how I was raised, by a homeopathic approach. My body rejects big pharma, and I'm having to embrace my new limitations to my physical body and accommodate it better than I have been for the last 40 something years. I will eventually go bang some stakes into that plastic, probably tomorrow morning's early morning chore if I don't get out there today. And I'm trying to just match the plants with what they are. I'm putting all the oregano on one side and all the squash on another. Oregano is such a healing herb. For the body, it is an antifungal and anti-inflammatory. And I mean, that right there alone, ingesting oregano clears your system out of any parasites, toxins, shit in your gut, which is where, of course, all dis-ease begins in the body. So I'm just taking an extra brick and laying it there in a spare spot, checking the rest of my crop. It looks good to me. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about my garden, about your garden, about growing and living off your land, any of those things. Make sure that you like, follow, and subscribe to my channel to see what we do daily on the farm. These are just gathering up some of my farming tools and making sure that the area is nice and clean when I'm finished with it, and no other trash is left around in the yard, or waste, I should say, that can't be reduced, reused, or recycled. If you live off your land, if you have any suggestions, I am so open to hearing. Please be sure and contact fairywigmother@icloud.com, and I'll get back to you and we can chat, or drop a comment down here on this video. Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and share my channels to anyone that is motivated by gardening and enjoys the peaceful aspects of life. There's my cat roaming through there. He's a rescue cat. Please be sure and rescue any animals that you see if you have the means and ability. He joined my family about a year ago as a little kitten that was about to get eaten up by some rogue hood pit bulls. So that's it for this morning. Country girl here. Thank you. Like, follow, subscribe, and share.